What do you think you're doing?
Hey, what's the matter with you, you pretty little news lady? It's only me, the love of your life.
Well, I can see that it's you, but I'm not at all sure that you're the love of my life.
Hey, what's the matter with you? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to scare you. Don't go getting mad at me.
Is that what you think I'm mad about?
What did I do? All I wanted was sneak a little kiss.
All right, Lee. I'll tell you what you did. Just as soon as you tell me why you stood me up last night. And I warn you, you better make it good.
This is Search for Tomorrow. This portion brought to you by Ivory Snow. Mild, gentle Ivory Snow washes baby clothes, baby soft.
Come on, Sonny. I didn't stand you up last night. I was just a little bit late, that's all. Listen, I got over to the inn, and Ellie said you'd already left, so then I split.
You better believe I left. They were closing up the bar and the dining room. What did you expect me to do, sit in a dark and empty room and wait for you to show up?
Well, no, I guess not. Look, I'm sorry. I just got hung up, that's all.
Hung up? Oh, really? And what hung you up? A Mack truck? Or was it a bear coming out of the woods?
No. I just had to go over to the Boilermaker and talk to Beau Mitchell, that's all. I mean, he was busy. You know how things go.
The Boilermaker, of course. I should have figured you were there.
Sonny, you know, the way you said that, well, you think I went over there to see Sissy, right? That's not right at all. I went over there to talk to Beau.
You know something? I wish I knew what the big fascination is of Beau Mitchell and this Boilermaker. It's like he's got all the men around here drawn towards him like a magnet. You, Stu, the men who work on the Belleville rig. What is it anyway?
I don't know. Maybe Beau's just good at attracting customers.
Lee, I'm not talking about attracting customers. I'm talking about something else. It's like Beau has this weird way of making normal people behave abnormally.
I don't know. Beau's just...
Do you want an example of what I'm talking about?
Yeah, okay. Give me an example.
All right. Let's take Stu Burke. Tell me, Lee, have you ever seen Stu drunk before? Well, I never have. But the other night, Stu was at the Boilermaker.
I know he was there. I was there, too. We were toasting our engagement.
Oh, do you know that he toasted our engagement so much that he drove his car off the road? And then he fell into a snowbank trying to help the guy in the tow truck dig it out. He practically caught pneumonia. Lee, Elliot was worried sick about him. Now, does that sound like the Stu Bergman that you know?
No, it doesn't. Well, he's all right, isn't he?
Yeah, he's all right. But you seem to be in the same shape that he's in.
What are you talking about? I'm not sick.
No, you're not sick, but you share the same sick fascination about Beau Mitchell and the Boilermaker. Or is it your fascination with Sissy Mitchell?
Sonny, it doesn't have anything to do with any kind of fascination at all. You remember when I was telling you about Beau's little, backroom sideline?
What do you mean, the poker and the other stuff?
Yeah. Well, you might say that Beau and I had a little, falling out. So I'm not going to be going back to his joint anymore.
Well, what happened?
I just went over. I mean, I was looking out for him, trying to help him out. I just told him I thought he was getting in a little over his head and it might be dangerous for him. But you see, Beau, he didn't really like what I had to say. And that's just fine with me, so I'm going to keep clear of that joint. Sonny, I didn't try to stand you up. Honest. I was just late.
You know something? I believe your story.
It's not a story.
Okay, I believe what you told me. But...
No buts. Can't you just forget about it?
Well, I'm not exactly sure.
Oh, come on now. Hey, it's a brand new day. That was yesterday. You know, it's a beautiful day outside, but I don't know how you'd know it sitting in this dark, dingy little room. Have you had lunch yet?
Well, no, I haven't.
Well, good then. Why don't you let me take you out and buy you some lunch? That sunshine out there puts you in a much better mood. That's right. good to see you smiling at me again. For a while there, I figured you were just going to kick me out of here.
Well, I haven't totally rejected the idea.
I see. Well, why don't you just take that idea and put it on ice for a little while, huh? Let me, make it up to you.
Don, let's drop the matter for now.
Yeah, but Mr. Matthews, we've had enough righteous complaints on this place to pick up a search warrant with no problem at all. Yeah, they're trying to turn this end of the county into a Monte Carlo.
Ah, a little far-fetched, don't you think?
Well, you'd have to get a search warrant to find that out. You know, it's not like you to hold off on something like this. I mean, there's a lot of newspaper coverage, television coverage.
Media coverage isn't the only thing in life.
It is if you happen to be a prospective candidate for governor.
No, it isn't. The machine of politics runs on only one kind of fuel.
Huh? Money.
Oh.
I guess you're right. Most things run on money, huh?
Well, I have heard it said that happiness can't buy you money. Now, as for this little problem down along the Greene County line... Yes?
Mr. Matthews, I didn't realize you were in conference. I can come back
Oh,
later.
no, not at all. In a manner of speaking, Lieutenant McKay and I were just talking about you. Oh, Don McKay, this is Beau Mitchell. He runs a place along the Belleville Highway. Do you know the Boilermaker?
Mr. Mitchell.
Oh, that's Beau, Lieutenant.
Mm-hmm.
Say, didn't I see your picture in the Herald the other day? Yeah, your little boy, Timmy, that's his name? He's going to be one of the first kids to use one of those new prosthetic, electronic prosthetic devices that Turner Instrument makes?
Yeah. We have a lot of hope for Timmy and a lot of faith in Turner Instruments.
Well, I'm sure everything will just turn out just fine.
Thanks.
Well, it must cost an awful lot of money, though, you know, that surgery and the doctor bills and whatnot. You know, it seems to me that if a man's going to be governor, he ought to take care of his policemen. Yes, sir, we ought to see that our law-abiding and law-upholding citizens earn a decent wage. Wouldn't you think so, Mr. Matthews?
Oh, yes. Yes, and indeed I would. But that is a long way down the road. You see, Beau, right now, Don and I have been talking about something a little closer to home. For example, we've been getting reports of illegal activities down here along the Belleville Highway. Isn't that where your place is?
Yes, it is. You know, I'm real surprised to hear that. See, that's an awful lot of territory to cover now, isn't it, Lieutenant?
Seems to me it's a lot of territory.
Yeah, you're right. You can't be everywhere.
And you sure can't run down every false report you hear, now, can you?
No.
No, I don't think we ought to take the time to look into some of those reports.
Well, I've got a pretty good feel as to what goes on down there. Of course, you got a few of the boys coming up from Greene County line and get a little drunk, but well, if you own a bar, then you're going to have some drunk and disorderly, right?
Sure, of course.
Well, if there's anything else, I'd be the first one to call. You know, I'm a businessman.
Now, that's true, Don. I suppose we should evaluate our sources. For example, have we had any complaints from any of the businessmen down there?
No, no one's complained.
Well, you know, Bob, I was telling Don here what a valuable member you are of my constituency. Always interested in good government.
Well, now that is a fact, Don. Say, you don't mind if I call you Don, do you?
Oh, call me Don, Beau.
You know something? Now, I just got a great idea. Now, why don't we start a Timmy McKay fund? Now, that'd be practicing what I preach, wouldn't it?
Would you want to publicize that, Bob? I mean, draw in a few other contributors?
No. Let's keep it private. Let's think along those lines, huh?
Well, thanks for coming by, Beau.
Lieutenant?
Beau?
Always good to talk to you.
Hi, Mr. Riley. How you doing?
That was kind of a long lunch, wasn't it?
Nope. Been working on a story.
Oh, come on, Adamson. You had lunch with your boyfriend.
Yeah, I've been getting some information on what I think is going to be one heck of a story. Mr. Riley, I want you to give me a few days off.
You kidding? For what?
Well, I need some time to do a little investigative snooping. What do you say?
What do I say? If that's all the information you're going to give me, I say no.
Oh, come on, Mr. Riley.
Adamson, look. Tell me what you want. Who, when, where, what you're after. Then maybe I'll give you an answer. And until then, the answer is no. I hope that's clear.
What's the matter? Don't you trust me? Hey, you remember who turned up most of the information on that D'Antoni case? It was me, and you know it.
You almost got yourself killed on that investigation, and I know that too, Adamson.
Well, yeah, but I'm still here. And I did do a good job. So why don't you let me do another one?
Not until I know what this is about.
Okay. There is this place down near Belleville called the Boilermaker. It's run by this guy named Beau Mitchell. Mr. Riley, I have every reason to believe that there's been some illegal... Oh, but I can't prove anything. And you're the one that told me to keep my mouth shut until I had something factual to report, remember?
Yeah, well, I'm also your boss, and I mean what I'm telling you. The answer is no.
But won't you reconsider?
No!
See,
No! No.
Well, I'll just have to do it on my own time.
Table for two?
This way, please.
Well, what do you think?
The ambiance or the company?
Touche. I was very happy to return your hospitality. I wanted you to like this place.
Well, I must say I find the restaurant as charming as the company.
Thank you.
You know, this is rather unusual for me. It's not very often I get invited to lunch as the guest of a very lovely lady.
Oh, well, I hope you can get used to it. I hear times are changing.
Oh, do you think it's for the better?
I hope. Yes.
Mrs. Wyatt?
Yes.
This way, please.
See, the reservations are in the lady's name now.
Indeed.
Well, look, who's here, Martin? Kathy and David, and together.
We'll return to our story in just a moment.
Well, David, I'm glad I ran into you. I was going to stop by your office later this afternoon.
Really, Morton? Why, something special?
But it's about Renata. Something very important has come up, and I'd like to discuss it with you.
Well, Martin, I don't know whether you're aware of it or not, but Renata has asked me to stay out of her life.
Yes, I am, David. That's what I want to discuss.
All right, sure. When?
Couldn't you two gentlemen do this on the telephone? I came for lunch.
Why don't you join us then?
Yeah, sure. Fill up a couple of chairs.
Thank you, but Martin and I are going to have a tete-a-tete. Isn't that right?
Ladies' choice, Stephanie. Good to see you again, Kathy. David, I'll talk to you later this afternoon.
Yeah, I hope so.
After you.
Thank you. We'll just put this here.
And would you care for something from the bar?
A martini, please. Very dry.
Make that two.
Very good, sir.
hope you don't mind my dragging you away like that. I was so happy to see the both of them together. I didn't want to spoil it by sitting down with them, or even talking about Renata, for that matter. You don't mind, do you?
I suppose not, but why?
Well, I don't wish Renata any ill, but Kathy's my best friend, and I want her to be happy.
And you think she'll find happiness with David?
Yes, I do. Well, there are things you don't know about. Martin, if I tell you something, will you swear to tell no one else?
Well, I'm not a religious man, Stephanie, but I'll give you my word. Will that do?
Your word of honor as a gentleman? Yes, it should do.
I'm glad. Now tell me, what is your deep, dark secret?
Kathy and her husband are about to get a divorce.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. But isn't that a sign of the times?
No, I don't think so. I think that's one marriage that might have worked.
Doesn't everyone think that when two people get married?
I suppose so. This marriage had a particular strain that a lot of others don't have.
Oh, what's that?
Kathy's baby. It isn't her husband's child. Scott could never come to terms with it.
Well, I should think a man would be able to deal with that.
That simply?
Stephanie, I don't mean to imply that I don't understand that raising someone else's child can put a strain on a marriage, but certainly the times have something to do with it. Like, for example, when I was growing up, I don't think I knew more than one or two families that had stepchildren in them. And that difference did make it difficult for the marriage and for the children, too. But nowadays, I think remarrying and raising stepchildren is more the rule than the exception.
Very dry martini for the lady and for the gentleman.
Thank you.
Well, in this case, there was a lot of jealousy.
Jealousy. Well, I say I don't understand that, but then I've never been married.
Say that you were, and your wife was having an affair with the man that you hated most in the world. Wouldn't you be jealous?
Yeah, I suppose I would then.
And say that she became pregnant by this man while you were still married. Would you have trouble accepting the child?
Well, I might, but certainly the child shouldn't be held accountable.
And say that the baby began to look more and more like this man day by day, more and more like the man you hated. Do you think you could conquer all of that?
Well, I do suppose that would make it difficult.
Well, now you see Scott's position. Because every day the baby looks more like David.
David, the child's father.
And that's the reason I want to see Kathy and David be happy with their son.
This portion of Search for